4th of May, several incidents that were reported from across Manipur wherein arms were looted from different police stations. But what are the efforts that the government, state government, the police forces, the central forces are making to really disarm the local people, which a situation that has developed in Manipur? Many of the villages that ThePrint visited today, the Pradhans told us that they on their own level are speaking to the locals, trying to convince them to surrender the weapons. A lot of drop boxes were also set up in different villages across Manipur where it was said that people can come and drop the weapons and no action will be taken against them. However, despite these small efforts, not much headway has been made. In fact, the villagers told us that they fear that the police or the central forces might take action against them, which is why they're not coming out to surrender those weapons. Some also said that they need those weapons to defend themselves against the cookies, and which is why they are keeping them. What's strange is that most of the Meitei leaders have been justifying this loot, saying that these people, the Meitei people, need these weapons to defend themselves against the cookies, and if they are not using these weapons against security forces, it is okay for them to have it. There are several attempts that have been made to disarm civilians in Manipur, a state plagued by ongoing violence. But despite numerous efforts such as peace committee meetings, appeals led by local leaders, and joint combing operations, none of that has succeeded in achieving disarmament. According to sources in the security establishment, the failure to resolve the issue stems from a combination of factors, including a lack of political will, restrained forces, and a divided police force within the state. Over a month has passed since more than 5,000 sophisticated automatic weapons were looted by civilians, primarily from the Meitei-dominated Imphal valley, out of which only a few have been recovered till date, police data shows. The rest are being openly used by the civilians to carry out killings, sources in the security establishment told ThePrint. We are at the Police Training College, Pangai, Manipur, where on 4th of June, scores of locals barged inside the campus and looted the armories, that is, the police weapons that were lying here stored under lock and key. What's strange is that most of the automatic weapons, including the AK-47s, snipers, tear gas shells, ammunition, SLRs, all these weapons were taken away by the locals without much resistance from the police that was deployed in this area. Several FIRs were registered in local police stations across in this area of Imphal East. However, in none of the cases investigation has begun or any significant arrests have been made till now. What is the most dangerous part, however, is that till date, out of the 5,000 weapons that were looted in those days, last month, more than 4,000 still remain with the civilians, and these are people who are locals and are armed with automatic rifles, which is why it makes the situation that dangerous. With a significant number of locals now armed with dangerous weapons roaming freely, incidents of fresh violence are being reported daily throughout the state, particularly in the foothills, leading to a constant rise in the death toll.
I think it carries the same sense of the Meitei farmers willing to work on the field, yet they are not in a position to work right now. Why? Because there is a sense of insecurities that they could be, shoot out, shoot down. They could be killed. They could be intimidated from time to time. In the same light, when they snatched this weapon, it was out of insecurities, and it was very much natural instinct for everyone that if their villages, their families, their homes are being threatened and attacked, then they will be trying to use all possible means. They have to defend themselves. And we have a sense that even though the weapons are out in the valley in a huge number, we don't sense any sort of this could be any sort of threat to the internal security or national security of the country, because nobody is a criminal who are snatching those weapons. Those were all local volunteers from the vulnerable villages whose houses being burned down, whose villages being burned down, whose families being attacked. So once the government is able to restore or rebuild the sense of securities and confidence to the people, and any sort of violent attacks don't continue or don't happen further in future, then I don't think that nobody wants to sleep with an illegal arms at home.
Initially, some individuals responded to government and local leaders' appeal by abandoning weapons in trees, fields, and even garbage heaps. However, even that meager contribution has now ceased, according to police sources. अभी ये जो डब्बा है इसमें लोग वेपन्स डाल के जा रहे हैं, कब कब आते हैं और क्या क्या वेपन्स इसके अंदर थे?
इसके अंदर में ग्रेनेड भी है और इंसास राइफल भी है और खाली मिशन भी है और कार्बन भी रखा है।
अच्छा, कार्बन भी रखा है। तो लोग कब कब आते हैं देने के लिए यहाँ पे?
वो लोग रात को भी आता है, दिन को भी आ सकता है। इधर लिखा है ना प्लीज ड्रॉप, हाँ, ऐसा लिखा है।
तो बस छोड़ के चले जाते हैं?
हाँ, छोड़ के चले जाते हैं।
मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि जैसे लोग, हम गांव में गए थे तो जो प्रधान हैं वो लोगों को बोल रहे हैं कि अगर किसी के पास भी कोई गन है तो वो इस डब्बे में डाल दे, या फिर कोई जो है जाके आप पुलिस स्टेशन में सरेंडर कर दो, ये बोल रहे हैं। तो आप लोकल पुलिस भी क्या लोगों से ये अपील कर रही है? आप लोग क्या लोगों को ये बोल रहे हो कि जाके यहाँ पे डाल दें?
हाँ,
क्या बोल रहे हैं आप लोगों को? क्या
हम लोग ऐसा बोला है, वो लोग पुलिस स्टेशन आकर सरेंडर कर दो और इसी बॉक्स में रखो बोलता है। वो लोग को हम लोग एफआईआर नहीं करेगा।
और वो लोग मानता है?
हाँ।
क्या बोलता है लोग?
वो लोग डाल देगा बोलता है ना। अभी भी डाल दिया है थोड़ा।
तो अभी जो है बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं आ रहा है, मुझे बोला पुलिस ने कि बहुत कम है कि लोग ऐसा भेज रहे हैं। तो क्या क्या टूटा हुआ वेपन, मुझे कोई बता रहा था कोई टूट जाता है तो दे जाता है, खाली हो गया अपना गोली तो छोड़ गया, कईयों को चलाना नहीं आता इसलिए छोड़ गया।
हाँ, इसलिए छोड़ दिया है।
कौन कौन से लोग छोड़ के जा रहे हैं वो थोड़ा बताओ।
वो पब्लिक लोग छोड़ के जा रहे हैं। वो टूटा वाला राइफल भी हो और खाली मिशन भी हो, और वो लोग के पास बुलेट नहीं है ना, वो ख़त्म होने के बाद इधर डाल दिया वो लोग।
अच्छा, तो अभी हर रोज़ तकरीबन कितना इकट्ठा हो जाता है इसमें, और फिर जब इसमें भरता है फिर उसके बाद कौन ले जाता है?
उसके बाद एसपी ले जाता है। तो इसके बॉस के सभी एसपी के पास है, हमारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट एसपी, उसने ले जाता है।
लेकिन अभी भी बहुत कम आ रहा है।
हाँ, अभी भी बहुत कम आ रहा है, ज़्यादा नहीं आया।
The village committees in Manipur are making several efforts to ensure that the arms that were taken away by the locals are surrendered. It, however, still remains a big challenge for the security forces and the local police, because several of the combing operations that were done by the forces have been failed. Only 1,000 from those 5,000 recorded weapons that were looted have been returned till now. In fact, a lot of drop boxes like the one that you see behind me have been set up by the local MLAs, by village pradhans, requesting and appealing to people that they can come anytime and drop in their weapon in these boxes, and nobody will register a case against them or make any arrest. So these sort of boxes, although few in number, are seen in Manipur, across Manipur, and regular appeals are being made by the village authorities to the locals. In fact, a lot of meetings are also being carried out by these club members, the village club members, to appeal and to tell the people, the locals, that it is illegal to keep the arms that belong to the security forces, that belong to the police, and they should be returned at the earliest. थोड़ा सा ये बताइए कि जो बहुत सारे बंदूक, असला, जो पुलिस ट्रेनिंग सेंटर है यहाँ पे, वहाँ से जो है बहुत से लोग ले गए थे छीन के, लूट के। यहाँ के आसपास के गांव के बहुत से लोग थे। आप विलेज के जो इस गांव के प्रधान हो, आपने लोगों को किस तरह से कन्विंस किया है कि आप उनको सरेंडर कर दो, और क्या क्या बोला है? आप मुझे ट्रांसलेट करके बताएंगे, क्योंकि ये हिंदी और अंग्रेज़ी दोनों में से कोई भी भाषा नहीं जानते।
मेरा भाई भी लोकल क्लब बॉडीज सब मिल के जो एग्जैक्टली जो बता तो नहीं सकता है जो कितना लेके आया हुआ है, फिर भी 10-20 जो छगोलवन पेस में जाके हम सरेंडर किया हुआ है, ऐसा बोल रहा है।
तो बताया कि कैसे इन्होंने जो है उन लोगों को कन्विंस किया कि आप सरेंडर कर दो, उनको क्या बोल के उन्होंने मनाया कि आप सरेंडर कर दो?
हाँ, सिमसो हाइबदी अदुम नोंमैसिंग खुसु खुलाइसिंग दो अच्छा मैम बता रहा है कि जो लेके आया हुआ बंदूक सरेंडर करने के लिए ये माइंडसेट कैसे आ गया, ये बता रहा है कि ये दोनों कम्युनिटी की तरफ वार चल रहा है। तो इसमें हम लोग लीगल पर्सन नहीं, मतलब एक सरकारी कर्मचारी नहीं, पुलिस BDF जो कमांडो वगैरह वगैरह इनमें से हम लोग कोई शामिल नहीं। फिर भी हम जो एक सिटीजनशिप होने के नाते हमारा हाथ में बंदूक रखने के हम लोग को फ़ायदा नहीं है, इसीलिए हम लोग वापस ही फिर तुरंत से तुरंत अभी पुलिस में सरेंडर करना है, इसलिए इसे सोच के किया हुआ है। फिर भी हमारा हाथ में जो बंदूक होगा तो फिर भी ये वार इतना बड़ा हो जाएगा, ऐसा सोच के किया हुआ है, ऐसा बता रहा है।
अच्छा, इन्होंने ये भी बताया कि मीटिंग्स इन्होंने करी हैं अपने गांव के लेवल पे, जो आप क्लब्स जिनको कहते हैं।
अच्छा।
उनके तो उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए कि वो मीटिंग्स क्या मीटिंग्स हैं और कौन लोग उसमें आते हैं, और उन्होंने उन मीटिंग्स के दौरान इन सबको अपील किया कि आप सरेंडर करो, और ये मीटिंग कितनी रेगुलरली अभी गांव में हो रही है।
अच्छा सिनाई से अभी समायना खुलाई सिंह से कोई पिथो खींचे ना मैम मीटिंग मैरा पाई भी क्लब का मेंबर, यही सभी विलेजर सब लोग मिल के ये ऐसे एक जो फैसला ले लिया है, ये सरेंडर करने से हमको ठीक होगा, नहीं तो हमारा हाथ में बंदूक रखने से भी कुछ न कुछ तो होने वाला है, ये अच्छा नहीं होगा। ऐसा सोच के उन लोग को एकदम मिन करके डिसीजन लिया हुआ है, ऐसे करके सरेंडर किया हुआ है, बता रहा है।
तो अब रेगुलर जो है लोगों से अपील करी जाती है।
हाँ, अभी भी जो इन लोगों के साथ कौन कौन छुपा छुपी करके जो रखा हुआ है तो फिर भी कर दो, ऐसा ये इसका संदेश है, इसका अपील है प्रधान का।
ठीक है।
According to sources in the security establishment, a significant obstacle to disarmament efforts is the growing support of civilians in Meitei-dominated Imphal Valley for proscribed militant groups. Compounding the challenge, the security forces lack the authority to enter most of the villages in the valley as they are not classified as disturbed areas since the lifting of the Armed Forces Special Protection Act there. Most attack sources said are being launched by Meitei insurgent groups from denotified areas that are no longer considered disturbed. This stops the armed forces from going inside those areas to make any arrest or do any sort of operations without the help of the local police. A divide within the police force along ethnic lines is also impeding the joint combing operations conducted to recover the weapons, as policemen are allegedly providing advanced warnings and tip-offs to the villages of their community, resulting in failed operations. Since violence erupted in Manipur, the state government's response has been limited to measures such as internet shutdowns, curfews, and meetings with groups representing the two communities. However, these actions have not yielded significant results. According to sources, the internet shutdown has proven ineffective as locals use alternative means of communication such as Chinese walkie-talkies and regular phone calls. Additionally, curfews do not restrict the movement of people in the foothills where incidents of violence are frequently reported. With fresh incidents of violence being reported from different parts of Manipur on a daily basis, the state is now being accused of being hand in glove with the Meitei community for political gains and to target the Kuki minority. According to the 2011 census, the Meitei, who are predominantly Hindus, constitute approximately 53% of the state's population of 2.8 million, making them the largest community in Manipur. In contrast, Kuki account for only 28%, while Nagas make up for 21%. The majority of Meiteis reside in the Imphal Valley, which comprises just 10% of the state's land, but is the most developed area with major schools, hospitals, business hubs, and universities. The remaining 90% of the land where Kuki and Naga reside falls under the hill districts. According to sources in the security establishment, the resistance by local is also becoming a big challenge in carrying out operations for recovery of looted weapons. Wherever security forces mobilize women groups known as Mira Paibis, allegedly obstruct their movements, preventing them from carrying out operations.
It has been more than 2 months since violence broke out in Manipur, and the situation still remains very tense. The Ministry of Home Affairs has also sent more reinforcement in Manipur because they need more feet on the ground. What, however, remains a big challenge for the state police and the central forces is how to disarm the people. they have not been able to successfully convince them to surrender the weapons that were looted from the police center, from different police stations across Manipur. What also remains a challenge is to maintain law and order in the state, because every now and then, every third day, every fourth day, there are incidents of firing and civilians killing each other that are reported from several pockets of Manipur. This is Ananya Bhadwaj reporting from Imphal with Praveen Jain for ThePrint.